So let's expand upon it. How do you do it? What is the structure for it? Because a lot of people want to do it. They understand the Bible is clear. You all have done it. You all have walked it. You are living examples. How do you walk in celibacy and maintain that connection?
Well, first, I want to talk about the grace first. The things that have happened in my life in our lives in the last 8 months are not things that we could ever, deserve or work for on their own. We've seen a huge shift in all areas of our life. Things that we have been praying for and exactly how they were going to happen and all of that. It's really been overwhelming, the grace, and it's been life-changing, and it's made our lives so much better.
Yeah, I think that one, it's like the idea, of honoring God and putting God first, right, and using that as the foundation of a union. And so because we really did that, what happened was, one, we got a chance to know each other in the absence of all that, right? Because so many times, you can sleep with somebody and you start building these emotions which aren't really real, and you get this connection, and, we didn't have to deal with all that emotional baggage, and it was really important to build that spiritual, foundation first. How we did it was, one, it's just like, knowing what the commitment was, just being more committed to the commitment and wanting to do it right. She knew 9 months before we started dating that I was her husband, right? So it was the reverse, And so I didn't know until the third date. But once we both got the revelation that this was going to happen, we both did not want to do anything to jeopardize its potential. So we were intentional about creating a foundation that would allow for the healthiest marriage possible. The other part of it was, also just knowing, our limitations. Like, okay, well, you know what? Okay, I'm just about to hug right now. You know what I mean? Just a little kiss on the cheek. Okay, all right. But I think that's important, about if you're trying to become celibate, you have to really be honest with yourself about where your triggers are. I've said this before, it's like nothing just happens. Before you go out that night, subconsciously or consciously, you've already determined what you're okay with. Because if you weren't okay with, you would have never said, I'm going out with you. So we have to be clear, okay, if this is not what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put myself in environments for that to happen. And I can tell you that, really putting God first in this, as Megan said, listen, all of the emotion that you go through when you are doing it and you're out of His will, listen, the grace that will happen when you really live for Him, it can't compare. All of your dreams, everything you desire to do is tied up in your obedience. Obedience is better than a sacrifice. And we're living testimony.